Hello everybody, this is a Lamley showcase. Preview or unboxing doesn't matter. I've got new Hot Wheels, the new Diorama set. We're going to open this up right now. Then we're going to move it to the studio and get close up on the models. I apologize right out of the gate for my voice. I have been fighting something for the last week, tried to rest it. Still not going away, but we've got so much new stuff we got to power through, so we got to get started. So that's what I am doing. Then we'll get on to some of the other new premium sets that are coming out. Lots of videos to come. Nonetheless, here it is, the brand new Honda Diorama set from Mattel. Very excited to open this one up. But before we do, you tell me if you agree with me. These are the last two sets. This one was found piled up in a Legends four-sided display at Walmart. This one's been in there too. They're both Walmart exclusives, at least here in the United States. And does it seem like they've kind of found their footing a little bit of late, especially this year when you're looking at these two sets? It seemed like for a while there was the set with a boat and that, you know, there were some cool models, but for the price that we have to pay now for these kind of sets, you definitely want them to bring it. Now, the first thing that someone might say is the carry forwards. Mattel calls them carry forwards. We call them repeats. Not our favorite thing for a set this expensive. The Mercedes CLK GTR was a carry forward in this set. The Porsche 962 is the carry forward in this set. But in fairness, now let's get rid of these. Come on, we're paying a lot of money for these sets. Just put 3 models in there. I just feel like that's what we need to do. I know that some of the designers aren't too fond of it either. Whatever the reasoning is, it is what it is. But I will say that at least in both of these sets too, not only are we getting new models, MR2 is a new model in this set, and then the Porsche 911 GT1 a new model in this set, but we're getting much stronger themes. If you remember before, we've had some good ones. The Skyline theme was good, the GTR. I mean, there have definitely been some major hits, but there have been some massive misses, and this seems to be kind of hitting the sweet spot. This, we could call it the Holy Trinity set with the McLaren, the Porsche, the Mercedes, and then of course this one's easy, the Advan set with the Skyline, the MR2, and the Porsche. They're fabulous, and it continues with this set. Themed tight, themed strong, and what do you know? A carry forward, but also a new model. So let's get this thing opened up. This is how it arrived from Mattel. It's not how it'll arrive in the stores. That arrives, I think, two per case. So I'm just going to try and, this is the first portion to open up, but this is how Mattel sent it, nice and protected. And I'm looking forward to opening this set up. Honda is the obvious theme. It's even on the packaging. You got Honda. This is like a showroom. That should tell you. This definitely tells you. And not only do we get Honda, but we're getting all white cars with all white rims and then a Honda truck. See, this is what I'm saying. It's, you know, they could have done a Honda theme and done a yellow Civic and a black Acura and a red S2000, but they didn't. They kind of kept the theme even stronger. And I really think this is what we want out of these sets, because some of us now, we open them up, we get the cars, some of it doesn't matter. We display them, but for those that want to display it this way, look at this. It's just so much better. The tile floor looks great with these cars, very showroom vibe. Well, actually, this is a garage vibe. Well, I guess it could be a garage or a showroom or a racetrack, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's racetrack in the back. Doesn't matter. Everything here, this is just a tight, tight set. All right, let me show you the back again so we can look at the models. 2020 Honda S2000 20th anniversary. This is a special one. Rob Mathis designed this one. He talked about this in the sneak peeks that we did, that this is like a special. It's got some slight differences to the standard S2000 that we're used to in terms of real life. This 20th anniversary, the grille is a little bit different, but it is still the classic S2000 silhouette. Of course, the 2003 Honda NSXR. Casting designed by Rio Asada, that eventually he designed it for Fast and Furious, and he wanted to make an I say Acura all the time, but he wanted to make an NSX that was what the collectors wanted after he did the basic one with the big wheels in the back. And then of course another Rio design, he was the Honda master before his sad passing, is the Type R, 1999 Civic Type R. That has been the Gold Nugget Super Treasure Hunt, that has been sought after. It also came up in white in one of the CJ's Boulevard sets, in CJ Deco. Anyway, we're getting straight up plain white like the basic, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Should we open it up? All right, what this allows us to do is to go close up on the models, but then we'll do a little bit of a car show. I will get these cut off and we'll move into the studio so that we can go full car show. But there is your NSX. And carry forward, repeat, whatever. It's still fabulous. White with white rims. You know, its only knock is that it's a repeat. But then again, there are people that are like, no, I didn't get it. That's impossible to get these days, and it really is. There's your Sakura Sprinter. It looks good. We'll get close up on that one in a little bit. The box trucks are cool. The problem with the box trucks is while you get a lot of cool logos, you really can't really put the models in there to display them. You have to kind of basically put them to the side like this or up top, which doesn't make any sense. There is the Civic Type R, white with white rims. It's just a full-on winner. It's fully detailed. I can't wait to put this one on the turntable. I can only go as close up as I can based on the angles, but it looks really good with the red interior. And then there is the brand new Honda S2000. So this is something that, you know, we have Ryo Asada's S2000. I don't think we've ever gotten just a more, I don't know if you, I mean, this is factory because it was made, but it's still, you know, it's got that nose, it's got the different nose, a more modernized nose for the S2000. And when you look at the stance and you look at what Rob did with it, this not only is just a great new casting, you always kind of vibe on kind of like Ryu's presence, you know, a little bit of his influence. And I think you look at this one and you would say he would very much approve with everything about this one. I could see him making this one, and Rob did a fabulous job. All right, so there it is. I can go close up on these as well. I think when we did the sneak peeks, we didn't get the finished product. I think we were just looking at a prototype. So this will be really fun to do. Let's get this cut open and into the studio. But do you agree? We will move on from these. We're going white cars, Hondas. I got a good car show. Let's get to it. All right, all opened. No injuries, you'll be happy to know, in cutting that open. And I got a great car show for you today. I'm really excited about it. It's kind of a fun one. I thought Honda would be the obvious car show, but what's interesting is we get this Honda set here, and at the same time, the Fast and Furious set with another new Honda casting is coming out, the Heist Civic, if you will. More on that in my Fast and Furious showcase. And we get a new Honda casting in the upcoming Ronin Run mix for car culture. So it's going to be massively Honda all the time. I'm sure a Honda car show will come from one of those. But I got something for this one, which is the other obvious car show. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's get to the hauler very quickly. Honda logo. Honda badging. On the box, at least. Not on the truck, too. On the cab. That's nice to see the Honda, not the logo, but at least the Honda name, I guess, on the truck. Gets white rims like all the rest of them do, which is kind of nice as well. I mean, I could put the car on this, but it's not. I like the flatbed haulers better, but this box hauler's been around forever and ever and ever. I guess I could do a car show on that one, but just what's been done for, but it's not that interesting, to be honest. So there is the truck. It's nice. It kind of, with these box truck, it kind of leaves on its own. You can't put anything on top of it, which kind of stinks. And let's get this one out of the way as well. And I don't mean to get it out of the way because it's a fabulous, fabulous model. We've just seen it before, the Honda NSX in Mountain Drifters, I think is what it was called. Wasn't it Mountain Drifters? Where the Liberty Walk debuted, the R34. Fantastic with the white 10 spokes. Those are great rims as it is. I think customizers really like having these. And yeah, white body, black top. This was, I think the casting was original in Fast and Furious in black. And then this one. And we haven't seen it since, I don't believe, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's okay. So there is that one. It's exactly the same as the original from Mountain Drifters. But these two, one is similar, but the other one is brand new. So let's go with the similar, which is the Honda Civic Type R. What's the official name on this one? 99 Honda Civic Type R EK9 is the official name, EK9 in parentheses, in case you wanted those parentheses. We'll talk more about this casting in a little bit, but this is fabulous. This has been a very popular casting. It's been in some pretty great releases. In basic, it's Super Treasure Hunts, one of the best, most sought after Super Treasure Hunts of the last 5 or 10 years. And this one might be the best version yet because you get a proper 90s era Civic in white with white rims, which is a proper combination. Again, more on that in a little bit. But I absolutely love that one. Might be the highlight of this set for me, but the S2000 is fabulous. But I think in terms of what I like the most, it might be the Civic. But let's talk about this S2000. You get the 10 spokes once again in white, which is great. So deco-wise, it's fabulous in white. I'm sure we'll see this one in yellow coming up at some point. But this Civic, as Rob Mathis talked about, it was an anniversary for the S2000. It had a different nose than the S2000 that you're familiar with, the standard release. I think this was released to retail, wasn't it? I think you could buy it. I don't know much more than that, but those of you that know a lot about this S2000 anniversary edition, please let me know. And was it only issued in white, or was it issued in white at all and they just debuted it in white for this set? I have no idea. But the details on this model are fabulous. I love how Rob designed red seats in, so I think that's part of the, of the floor piece, right? And then there's an interior piece in black and, black chassis and everything else. But getting the break between the seats and the interior and the roll cage and everything else is just really, really well done. And you just see the brilliance of these designers with working within the budget that they can and making something so cool. So yeah, this is a great set. As I talked about earlier in the video, kind of hitting their stride with these diorama sets. And it's obvious between Advan, Holy Trinity, and now Honda, these are much, much stronger than they were before. And while still very expensive, I think more worth it. Car show. This one's so obvious. White rims. White rims. I'm even wearing a white t-shirt. Didn't plan that. White rims. Truck, we'll move you off to the side. This we're going to take away. The car show. White cars, white rims. I mean, 90s brilliance. I love white cars. I've made that very clear over the years. I think white cars are just super cool. It might be the era I grew up in. I've talked about a neighbor I had whose house was all white. Like, all the furniture was white. The paint was white. Their cars were white. They had Mercedes-Benz 190s, and they're all white with white rims. I just love white. And white with white rims is so perfect for, this era for sure. Just like that 90s Honda. Honda white with white rims is cool too. So I went through the collection and pulled out white with white rims. Now, clean white. You can even see, where is it? Yeah, look right there. See the Audi over there? You could maybe count that. It is a white body with white rims, but it's got the racing stripes on it. So I tried to go as minimal as possible and went through the collection, whether it be premium or basic, to see what I would find. And to be honest, at least in my collection, I didn't find much. There's another one too, the Porsche 959, white with white rims, but with the deco, I avoided it. Kind of interesting. So as you go through here, you do find some great ones, but there is very much a theme as you go. And it starts Honda. We just saw this casting. In fact, look, they're essentially the same. Maybe slight difference in the shade of white. This one's a brighter white. But this is the Custom J's deco from Boulevard, released, 2 or 3 years ago. Obviously, this one getting more detail and then also getting the Type R badging on it and stuff is the preferred for me, at least. But you got the CJ Civic, and that was part of this white with white rims. If we want to keep going, I could just randomly pick them. This was in Fast and Furious, the Subaru WRX. Snow car, right? It was driving on the ice at one point. Very, very nice. I wish the rims were a little bit bigger for this car. It would make more sense, but the white with white rims. A little bit more modern versus that kind of 80s, 90s vibe that I'm going for here. The Mazda 323 GTR. I'm trying to go through these, and you might be trying to remember which ones are the white with white rims, and some are probably just make a ton of sense, but others might surprise you. This one was from Boulevard, I think, last year, right? That was a very, very cool one. You get JDM white with white, no-brainer. Honda white with white, even more of a no-brainer. But you'll see that it's mostly JDM, right? We're Japanese so far, and will continue so far. This was one, did you think of this one? From RLC. People wish that it had Spectraflame paint. Not when it's white with white rims. You want these to match. And this particular one, did they go Honda out this one? I think Honda Integra, right? Yeah, Honda Integra for RLC is fabulous. White with white rims. So yeah, we're looking at all these. It's all JDM. It's almost all Honda, right? Honda, 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 Honda. One Subaru, one Mazda, Honda. And the only other one from the premium, at least, that I think might even be my favorite is the Toyota, the Supra, from Team Transport last year with the 4Runner. This white body, white rims is just so cool. And I may have done a white on white show last year, but this one I think is a little bit more complete, because if you put that here and you got that as all the premium, there's still one other one that I actually did, as I was looking at the collection, it did stand out. And you could maybe say, because of its top stripe, it doesn't work. And this one doesn't fit at all in anything. But I did notice in my vintage racing collection, this Mustang was hanging out there. This is from Vintage Racing in 2010. It doesn't fit the era. It doesn't fit the theme. But it is a very cool white car with white rims. And yeah, the number and the stripes may disqualify it. But it just stood out, and I just had to include it because I had to do something a little different. So we get to add American Muscle, released in 2010 versus all of these released in the last, 2 or 3 years. It's just a nice one to fit. So then I go to Hot Wheels Basic. I found 4. Only 4, which is kind of surprising. And what's not surprising, we go right back to the same casting. This is the debut of the EK9, and guess what it looks like? Red interior, white body, white rims. So we now have 1, 2, 3 Civics, white body, white rims, red interior, EK9. But that is so perfect. Not a complaint at all, because it just works for that car, and it works for this set. So yeah, 3 different versions of white Civics with white rims. If that bothers you, I'm sorry. Keeping on going, Honda theme, the Prelude, 5-pack version, white body, white rims. That made a ton of sense. I was going through all of my Hondas thinking I'd find more, and there's definitely white cars, but when we're talking plain white with white rims, it was only that one. I think, yeah, it's the only one I could find in the basic range. So it's those 2, the Civic and the Honda, or the Prelude. And then there was another one that made kind of sense, because you had a Mazda in the premium. You had one Subaru, one Toyota. Mazda returns with the Savannah RX-7. This was was this a 5-spoke, or was this a base? It was a basic. I think it might have been on the card. I think it was on the card. Maybe it was a 5-spoke, 5-pack is what I meant to say. But nonetheless, when it was released, it's white with white rims. That one goes in the collection, or goes into the show. That one looks very nice together. And can you guess the one other basic one? Give you a second to think about it. Did you guess this one? I bet you didn't. Maybe you did. Audi EV. So the Mustang is the fish out of water for the premium. This one would definitely be the fish out of the water for the basic, is an Audi EV, the e-tron GT. But it's nice too, in white with white rims. If there were any others, I couldn't find them. And again, I tried to avoid them with deco. So I was like, well, you know what? I've got these. That's it. But is there anything else, or is there any others? And I said, well, why not Matchbox? And here's what was interesting. I dug into Matchbox, and I found 3. And they've all been released this year. So there might be some other ones that I'm not aware of, or not in the collection. There might be plenty, actually. But I could only think of 3. And they were all released this year. Starting with one that might be the contender of Matchbox Model of the Year, has been incredibly popular. You're probably thinking of it. We had the Honda Integra. How about the Acura Integra by Matchbox? Released this year. 1997 Acura Integra Type R. In white with white rims. It should be this way, and they did it that way, and it's so, so cool. So I'm going to put that one right there. That was a no-brainer. Then I started thinking again, and I was like, okay, there's one other one. In moving parts, just recently released from the right era, 1987 VW Golf. Convertible with the opening doors. White interior, white rims, white body. Same rims. That one goes in there. I think there might have been a Mazda, another Mazda, but I don't think I have it. But I think it had black rims as well. There's plenty of plain white bodies with black rims and gold rims and everything else. But for the specific combination of white with white rims, there's just not that many. And I was like, okay, I've got the Acura, I've got the VW. What's the other one? Well, it's in a 5-pack. Oh, shoot. There, how about that? Dropping things. 5-pack that has just been released. And I haven't even opened it yet, so I thought, well, we're here. Might as well. I bought this 5-pack at the store the other day, mainly because I wanted the Subaru, because I collect that casting. And I did want this RX-8. The Lexus looks pretty good, but I'll get to these models later. You can see them, but that one is just hitting stores right now. But look what else is white with white rims and fully JDM, of course, like about as JDM as it gets. 1992 Mazda AutoZam AZ1 in white rims. And yeah, unique car for sure, unique matchbox casting for sure, and white with white rims. It looks as good as it's ever looked. Might be as good as it will ever look in the future. That one makes sense too. So there you go. That's your car show. Such a favorite era of mine, 80s, 90s car. I grew up in that time. I loved white cars with white rims. It was just such the look. It's so reminiscent of the era. If I ever get a car from this era, that's the look I'm going for. In fact, if there's one Hot Wheels model that I want to see get the white body with white rims, can you guess what it is? It's one of my favorite castings. There's time. Hot Wheels can do it, whether it's basic or move this to premium even better and give it white rims, because this is so smack dab in that era. And how cool would this car be in white with white rims? So Hot Wheels designers, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Get that done. You guys tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of this Honda set. Sorry again for my voice. I'll try and get it fixed. But for now, I got too many cool cars to show, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Thanks, everybody. Bye.